Hey everybody, I am going to do a quick review on this knife here. This is the Benchmade Bedlam. This is not the automatic version, obviously. Just a pretty cool knife I've had for a while, just haven't got around to reviewing. So, why don't we go ahead and get on into this. You get 4 inches of 154 cm steel on this scimitar like blade, which kind of, ow, almost got me again. Good move, dummy. On a scimitar like blade, which is very reminiscent of one of my other favorite knives, which I'll bring out here in a little bit. The action on this is just unbelievably smooth, to the point where you think that there would be blade play, but it's just that Benchmade. Look at that thing. Maybe that's a little too much action, but it's not loose at all. No blade play, no rattling, no nothing. So you got these hardened G10 scales. They feel like, I guess it's because of the weight and the heft of this thing, these feel almost like rock or something, but it's just because of these really, can you see that? The thick stainless steel liners in this thing. They give this thing the weight and the heft behind it. So it's almost 6 inches closed, 5 3/4 inches closed, 4-inch blade. So there you go. Do the math on that. There's 10 inches of death dealing. And then you're saying, well, that's only 4 inches of death dealing. No, because then you come back here and you got this little thing, the walnut cracker. Yeah, so you're out in the woods and all you have to eat is walnuts. Just crack, crack. And then say some knucklehead comes up and tries to steal your walnuts. There you go, right there. So now you crack his melon and you crack some walnuts. But seriously, that would hurt a lot. So I guess it's a kind of less than lethal pressure point pain activation device. I have to copyright that. So you got this weird semi-open construction. You got a backspacer here. I guess they decided that lessening the weight of this thing would lessen the strength, even though they did mill out those liners. Can you see that? So they milled out the liners, just not up here too much. Man, I can't get this thing to focus. Sorry about that. But this thing still has some heft to it. The thing is, it feels great in your hand. You're going to be hard pressed to find a knife that feels better in your hand than this one here. I mean, the chunky hand theory here. Look at that. You got another inch or so, inch and a half coming off the end there, from here to here. So you got plenty of room to hold on to this thing. It's got some nice gripping here. It's got a really useful jimping, which is pretty cool, because they give you this half choil here. And so while this is not really known to be a utility blade, it's obviously more tactical. This jimping and this half choil here kind of make it utility worthy. If you had to get in there and do some splinter removal on a circus elephant, because this thing's pretty big, pretty substantial in the hand. Definitely not something you're going to want to butter your donut with over at the Tasty Freeze or wherever you're getting your donuts. Not sure why you go to Tasty Freeze to get your donut, but if you did, holy cow, I'm going to break my camera if I keep flicking this thing. If you went to Tasty Freeze for your donut, don't break this out to butter it. Not sure why you're buttering your donuts, you freak. So anyways, let's get a weigh in on this thing. This is the one issue I have with this knife. And I've carried this a couple times, I think, and it was just really heavy in the pocket. This is kind of something you'd almost want to get, I don't know, maybe like a belt sheath for or something, which would be really cool. So let's see, what is this thing gonna weigh? Ooh, yeah, see? Take that lanyard off, so it's like 7.1. It's a little bit heavy. But I think if you're, I don't know, you're wearing good enough clothes, it shouldn't yank your pants down too much. In a sheath, this thing would be awesome. This thing would just be cool as heck. Now, what I'm thinking is, let's compare this to something that I'm really, really favoriting these days. The cold steel Talwar. Very similar blade shape. Got that sweeping scimitar up sweep on there. A little bit more pronounced on the Bedlam here. This thing fits really good in hand as well. Although it's not as long. Let's see here. So the blades are just about equal in length. Supposedly about 4 inches each. So you got a little bit more room here on for your grip, and you can feel it. And you can feel the thickness of this one as opposed to how thin this one is. Definitely, this is definitely much lighter. Let's check this out. I'm gonna try to remember what this is, but we'll just go ahead and weigh it. Really? It's that much, huh? I didn't remember it being that much. So let's say 4.8 ounces on the Talwar. So it's not super light, but definitely lighter than this monster here. You do not have this one here, the little melon crushing dot producer. So you don't have that on here. However, you got to ask yourself, do I want to spend twice as much on this as I would on that? I think that's the question we ask ourselves a lot. What could I get plus this to equal this? Well, you could get this, and say you wanted to get something else. You could even grab like a Griptilian plus this Talwar for what's going to cost you to get into this. Now, that being said, and even though I'm a humongous fan of this knife, I mean, I've been carrying it all over the place, been using it for food prep, cutting packages, breaking down boxes. I mean, this is right up there right now in my top 4 favorite knives right now. So even though I have that, this is just pretty cool. I think as far as bringing this out of your pocket and impressing some people, this is pretty cool. I do like this little half choil here, and the jimping up here is useful, which you don't find jimping useful all the time. It's got, even with this jimping, see, even from back here with the jimping right here on the front of the liner, even though you're not using that, it's still very useful, which is kind of cool, even if you're not a jimping fan. And lefty righty tip up, so there you go, got that. Got a pretty good slice of lanyard hole there on the back end, so you don't have to worry about it affecting the blade. And like I said, this thing has that really cool Benchmade action, which you gotta watch out for the tips of your fingers if you like your fingerprints. Stay active. Alright, so there you go. Just a quick review, just a quick look, quick comparison between this and the Talwar. Like I said, I don't carry this much just because of the weight, but I might start just because of how cool it is. Alright then, I will leave you alone now. Quit rambling, blah blah blah. Like here, subscribe here, leave a comment down there, and anything else? I will talk to y'all later.